right, everybody, and welcome into the Hayden Coker Show, presented to you by Chick-fil-A in Pell City. Hope everybody is doing phenomenal this afternoon. We've got a massive show for you today. Hope you're doing well. We're going to break down everything college football, guys. Week one, I'm so happy to be back. I'm incredibly thankful to be here. Thank you all for making this possible. Shout out to Chick-fil-A in Pell City. Shout out to J&K Tire in Steele, Alabama as well. Thank you once again. I'm very, very thankful, and Scrappy the dog is making an appearance in the live stream. But what are we here for, guys? We're here for college football. Nothing else. I said it in the intro. We're not talking about Biden. We're not talking about Trump. Kamala. We're not doing that. Okay, this is college football, and we're going to break it down for you here in just a second. Just some quick headlines first off. What I thought was really interesting earlier today was the SEC has officially put into place mandatory injury reports. And this is for football, basketball, and baseball. And for the football season, the injury reports are going to have to be put in by Wednesday of game week. So they have to be put in by Wednesday of game week. Now, what exactly is this going to mean for betting? Okay, so this is what a lot of people have been saying so far. Betting. This is a huge issue in college sports with college athletes. It's bad. It's not just football. It's not just basketball. It's college athletics in a whole. So this is something that we have to address. If you're the NCAA, obviously they have, and it's certainly something that they have to get under control. They investigated Iowa not too long ago and busted them, a few players even. So it sucks. It really does. But once again, this is college athletics. This is athletics in a whole, and it's going to be bad. I don't know if anybody knows this, but athletics is very slimy, and so This is not something you play with. If you're an athlete and you're betting on against your own team or something like that, you got to cut it out because it's not gonna last. It's not gonna end well for you. We've got a lot of other stuff to talk about today. Not just that. Tonight we have Coastal Carolina versus Jacksonville State. That's going to be a fun one. This is a Rich Rod led team that I think could really go far this year. Now, do they make the college football playoffs? I'm not going to come out here and say that. No. But we do have that one spot at number 12, which a lot of people are saying, hey, the best group of five team could slip in there. Could they do that? We don't know. We will see by the end of the year. You also have Liberty that could make it. You also have Boise State. Boise State's a team that could really do it. Tulane. You have a few teams up there that could really make a push for it. Now, who does? That is a big question because we have the 12-team playoff now. This is not like it was last year or for the past 8, 9, 10 years. It's not. It's going to be a whole lot more interesting, and we're going to dive into that here in just a little bit. But before we do have to talk about it a little bit more. But so this weekend we have Auburn and Alabama playing. Yes, they are playing this weekend. No, they are not playing anybody of great magnitude. Well, I'll go ahead and say this: Alabama is playing Western Kentucky. Go Tops! I don't think there will be too many issues there for Alabama. If you're an Alabama fan, hopefully not. Shout out to Roderick for joining the chat. Thank you, Roddy. I appreciate it. But no, I think that there's a lot better games going on this weekend other than Alabama and Western Kentucky, or teams like Auburn versus Alabama A&M. Go Tops, absolutely. So I think it's going to be great. This is a phenomenal weekend for college football. We're kicking it off. We have teams like Miami and Florida playing. We have teams like West Virginia and Penn State playing. So I'm very excited for that. Now, the big question is what teams go down this weekend. And we will talk about that a little bit later. We will make predictions, whether it's a game happening tonight or it's a game happening on Saturday or, heck, even a game happening on Sunday. Shout out to USC and LSU for keeping our Sunday exciting this year. I'm not taking anything away from church, but obviously we have college football on Sunday this year, and that's awesome. So week one. So no, I know the pastors out there. Please don't come for me. I'm not saying don't go to church. I'm not saying it. I've got a cross around my neck. Praise God. So don't think I'm saying anything like that. Okay, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna go to church on Sunday. We're gonna eat our lunch, and then we're gonna finish off the weekend with some college football. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and break everything down. We're going to talk about some preseason picks that I've made recently. Now, I know that Controversial, maybe. Okay, we made one pick. One pick that you could make a strong argument for because this is a team. This is a team that has really been phenomenal this year. Not only have they been, or not this year, excuse me, last year they really caught stride. They really caught stride late last season, and I'm talking about the Virginia Tech Hokies. I have them at the number 12 spot in the college football playoff at the end of the year for multiple reasons. Kyron Jones has been phenomenal. I think defensively as well, they're gonna have some guys on the defensive line who are gonna be playing some really good ball. I don't see a problem with this pick. Others of you may, but I think Virginia Tech is going to be a team to look out for this year. Not only do they have a fantastic quarterback in Kyron Jones, not only are they going to have a solid offense, but their defense is going to be good as well. And when it comes to defense, we all know if you watch the game, the one ACC game that happened this past Saturday, you know that the defense in the ACC this year is going to be pretty tough. Georgia Tech played phenomenal on defense. They really took it to Florida State. I'm not going to take anything away from Georgia Tech at all, but Florida State played absolutely pitiful. Georgia, and that is to give all credit to Georgia Tech. I cannot believe that Georgia Tech went in there and just manhandled Florida State the way they did. Now I'm not surprised that Georgia Tech won. Not at all am I surprised that Georgia Tech won. What shocked me was that Georgia Tech went in there and they defensively, like up front, they just manhandled Florida State. Offensively, on the offensive line, manhandled Florida State's defensive line. They were able to run the ball. Jamal Haynes was fantastic. And then Haynes King as well. Haynes King, to me, is the epitome of a quarterback who, for one, he's experienced. He's the epitome of a quarterback that's experienced. He knows what he's doing, and he can really get the ball into those tight spaces, okay? Now, I take it back to a few plays in this game. One play in particular that I wanted to point out, it was in the third quarter, first drive for Georgia Tech, and Haynes, I believe they were on their own side of the field. And Haynes King, he was stuck in the pocket, and he stepped up, and then he stepped to the side and kind of made it like a jumping throw, like J.J. McCarthy did a few years ago in practice, that it blew up, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, this guy's the second coming. But no, Haynes King, he played phenomenal. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he can do it all. And if you are an ACC fan, heck, if you're a college football fan in general, watch out for the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets because they are something special. Now, who do I think can compete with them in the ACC this year? Well, for one, I don't think Florida State's out of it. I think Florida State had a rough going in the first game of the season. I'm not saying anything otherwise. They did, and that was very obvious. But I certainly think that there are other teams out there, and I certainly think, like Miami. I'm not saying Miami's going to win week one. Did I just spoil a pick? No, I didn't. We'll save it till later. But what I am saying is that there's multiple teams that can compete this year. Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech. Then you also have teams like Florida State, Clemson. Are some people saying Pittsburgh? You've got Eli Holstein, former Alabama quarterback. Now he transferred out of Alabama after his first year. Now he's playing for Pittsburgh. You have them. You have North Carolina. What are they going to do? But no, I think the ACC is wide open. I think it's anybody's game. I think you've got 4 to 5 teams, maybe even 6 possibly, that could win the ACC. Louisville is up there as well. And I know a certain somebody who's going to crucify me for saying Louisville is Louisville. But Louisville, there we go. But anyways, yeah, that is a whole nother story for a whole nother time. But Virginia Tech is going to make the college football playoff this year, guys. So go ahead and book it. Now, at number 11, we have Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, the Cowboys are in for a special year. This is a team that I have gone back and forth on. I've wrestled with, but I genuinely do think that this is a team that is going to make the college football playoff, that is going to make some noise, possibly even win a game in the playoffs this year. Oklahoma State has a lot of they have a lot of returning talent. You've got 11 players on offense returning and 10 players on defense returning. And somebody in the chat is saying, go Tops and go Pokes. Well, Alana Yates, shout out to you. But yeah, Oklahoma State is a team that I'm really looking out for this year because of their returning talent. They're returning a lot of production, and I have faith in Coach Mike Gundy and the crew to get those guys to the playoffs and see what they can do from there. The offensive line is going to be good. The defensive line is going to be good. Defensively, there's question marks, yes, but that's just a Big 12 defense. That's just a Big 12 defense for you. So, but anyways, that's my number 11 team. Number 10, we have the Missouri Tigers. Offensively, they're going to be phenomenal. I'm still worried about the defense. You lose a lot of production, but offensively, they're going to be fantastic. You have Marcus Carroll transferring in at the running back position from Georgia State. He's going to be good, and I cannot wait to see how exactly he fares off. Now, what I don't think is going to happen is Missouri go out there and lose 4 games. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is something that's possible. Obviously, it's possible. It's college football. There's not a lot in college football that's not possible. It just doesn't happen. So I genuinely think that this Missouri team is going to make the playoffs with help from Luther Burden. You have Theo Weiss. Brady Cook's returning again for I believe it's his 5th or 6th year. So if you're a Missouri Tigers football fan, you've got to be excited about this football team. I know I'm excited as well for Missouri, and I think they make the playoffs. Now, coming in at number 9, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions. So Penn State, a team that I have really, really wrestled with in the offseason. Offensively, I think you're going to be good. You have Julian Fleming transferring in from Ohio State at the wide receiver position. I think he's going to be good. The problem is I don't know how good they're going to be offensively. And this was the issue last year, was offensively they were not the greatest in the world. Now, they beat up against the bad teams. They didn't play anybody. You play Ohio State and you play Michigan, and you lose both those games. To me, this year you have to, both of those games, when both of those games come, you have to at least win one of them. Make a strong case for the playoff. Do that. I don't think Michigan's going to make the playoff this year. I think that you're going to beat Michigan. I just don't think, I think that you make the playoffs this year. I don't think that Michigan is going to be of much magnitude. Now, Sharon Moore, it's just a Sharon Moore-led team. How's that going to be? We'll see. We're going to toss it up and down, but I'm not necessarily sure how that's going to be in general. Bryce Lewis says Hayden Coker and his hot takes live on a Thursday evening. Hey, Bryce, we appreciate you, brother, and we are glad to have you here. But yeah, so I had Penn State at number 9. Now I have Alabama at number 8. This Alabama Crimson Tide team is good. Now, how good are they? We will see this year. I think that this Alabama Crimson Tide team defensively is going to take a step back, but offensively, I think they take a step up. You have Jalen Nuro in his 2nd year in this offense. Last year, not many people knew what to think of this offense, or really this team in general. Some people had this team losing four games. Some people had them winning it all. So I know Josh Pate had them winning it all. I know because I watched that show religiously, and his show is actually going on right now because he decided to push it up an hour because he's leaving on a transportation. So shout out Josh, but you're ruining my show, man. You're ruining my show. But Bama goes at number 8. Number 7, we have the Utah Utes. Cam Rising's coming back, and so is Brant Keith at the tight end spot. So I think that there's not too much to say about Utah. I think that they're going to be what they usually have been. I'm not going to say they're overrated at all. Obviously, they're making the playoffs. I think that this is a team that is genuinely going to be fantastic this year. Notice how I have them at the number 7 spot and not winning the Big 12. Now, who do I have winning the Big 12? We will get there. But first, I want to talk a little bit about this number 6 team that I have. Now, it is Ohio State. I don't have them winning the Big 10. Now, you can probably assume who I have at the winning the Big 10, considering I don't have Michigan in the playoffs, and I've already named Penn State and Ohio State. So you can probably take a wild guess, and it's going to be the team that's in their first year in the Big 10. So Ohio State, I have them, and I think they're going to be good this year. I think they're going to be good. But I think that there's a team in the Big 10 that's just a little bit better, and it goes to show in the Big 10 championship game this year. Now they play Oregon in the regular season this year. Ohio State wins that game. Now when it comes to the Big 10 championship, the tide is going to be reversed. I think that it's going to be Oregon all day. I think that Oregon wins the Big 10, and I know that I've kind of just given away my pick for the Big 10, but I don't really care. But I think this Ohio State team really does have what it takes to win the national championship this year. No, I'm not saying that this team wins the national championship by any means. So I'm going to go ahead and put that out there. Have I made my national championship prediction yet? Hold on. because we are only 10, 15 minutes into the show, and we've got a little bit to go. Next up, we have number 5, Texas. I think the Texas Longhorns finish at the number 5 spot. You've got Quinn Ewers coming back. You've got some transfers coming in at the wide receiver spot. You lose C.J. Baxter to injury, but you have Jaden Blue, who's still going to be starting at the running back position this year. I think he's going to fare off pretty nice. The only thing I'm worried about is the Texas defensive line. How will that go? We will see toward the middle of the season. But yeah, you've got Isaiah Bond coming in and Amari Niblack as well. So we'll see how that fares off for the Longhorns. But for now, I have them at the number 5 spot in my preseason prediction. Now, number 4, I have Kansas State. Kansas State is a team offensively I think is going to take off this year. They are a really, really, really good team. You've got the transfer coming in from Colorado at running back. You have Dylan Edwards, and you also have DJ Giddens. I'm really excited for DJ Giddens because he's more of a power back, but I feel like Dylan Edwards really gives this team a sense of, I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about, but Naheem Hines for the Colts a few years ago. Whenever Jonathan Taylor was healthy, he's kind of like a scat back. You know, he can catch it out of the backfield, he can run routes, but he's not the most powerful guy on the field. He's going to serve as a secondary back. He's going to serve as a backup, but he can still make some really, really, really nice plays. Now, at the wide receiver spot, I think you'll be fine. You've got Keegan Johnson. You've also got You've got Jace Brown. I think you're going to be fine there. You're going to be good. Kansas State's going to be phenomenal, guys. Offensively, on the O-line, you're returning production. Not that much production, but a little bit. And I think that's enough to solidify you as the Big 12 champion for the 2024-2025 season. And I think this Kansas State team is going to be phenomenal, guys. They're going to put up some really big numbers. Avery Johnson, the quarterback, who is in his, I believe it's his second or third year, and he backed up Will Howard last year. He got to play a little bit last year. He said a game. I believe it was a record-setting or tying touchdown percentage, not percentage, but record-setting for touchdowns in a single game last year with 5 total touchdowns in a game. So that's fun. But obviously you've got to look at the bigger picture. But for now, I mean, that's what I have them at. I have them finishing at the number 4 spot. Number 3, we had Florida State. This was at the beginning of the year, and I'm not going to lie. I did podcast this before the beginning of the year, but I'm not talking about it right now. Florida State, you're out of my mind, out of sight, out of mind. Number 2, we have Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. And number 1, we have the Georgia Bulldogs. The Georgia Bulldogs, they return some talent on the defensive side of the football. Yes, you lose some guys, but I'm very excited for guys like Malachi Starks to come back and lead this defense to what could be another historic year for Georgia. But yeah, that's just how I feel at the moment. Hey everyone, are you looking for an easy way to feed your friends and family this football season? I know I am. Let Chick-fil-A Pell City cater your next gathering. Choose from a variety of trays, including Chick-fil-A nuggets, mac and cheese, chocolate chunk cookies, and chocolate fudge brownies. Perfect for a get-together of any size. Place an order through the Chick-fil-A app online or by calling ahead and picking it up at the Chick-fil-A in Pell City, or get it delivered directly to your door. Enjoy more of the game with your friends and when you take cooking off your plate. Availability and order requirements may vary. Check the restaurant for details. That is Chick-fil-A Pell City, one of our fantastic sponsors. Thank you so much for Chick-fil-A in Pell City. And if you're not aware, the honey pepper pimento cheese chicken sandwich is back. And you need to go get it because it is phenomenal. Had it today. So nice, I had to have it twice. So phenomenal. Go on and get it because it'll make your tummy feel all nice. It did me. I'll go ahead and say that. But anyways, yeah, guys, that's basically all there is to it. That's my college football playoff prediction for this year. I've already given it to you earlier on. It's been podcasted, but for those of you who do not listen to the podcast, here we go. We have it live. Thank you for everybody tuning in, whether it is on YouTube Live or Facebook Live. Highly appreciate you. And guys, this season is just getting started. All right, we're just now getting on the road. And if you're just getting on the road and you need to get some new tires, you need an oil change. Well, guess what? J&K Tire is a place to go. If you need, whether it's tires, brakes, alignments, shocks, struts, oil change, or minor auto repair, you can go to J&K Tire in Still, Alabama. You can call them at 256-570-0777 or email at jnktire@gmail.com. And they also have a website at jnktire.com. So excited for those guys over there. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Thank you for everybody listening. Whether you're on Facebook Live, YouTube, whatever you got going on tonight, I hope it's going well. I know a certain somebody who is watching from the Caribbean. The Hayden Coker Show is international. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but we know somebody who is watching from the Caribbean right now. And I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out. So shout out Denise and DB. Highly appreciate y'all watching from the Caribbean. But yeah, guys, this is a whole new year, a completely different ballgame. No longer 4 teams in the playoffs. We have a 12-team playoff. It's going to be fun. And I'm super excited, and thank you guys for tuning in with me and joining me on this ride. And we're going to have a heck of a football year. We're going to have a heck of a year. But, guys, we have football on tonight in just about 30 or so minutes. We've got Coastal Carolina and Jacksonville State playing tonight. You've got Logan Smothers, who is going to be the starting quarterback for Jacksonville State tonight. One of the key guys that I'd look out for Jacksonville State is tight end Sean Brown. You also have J-Rock Swain on the defensive side of the football at the linebacker position. Now, one guy who is obviously not slept on, but is very good at the running back position, you have Anwar Lewis. Now, Anwar is very shifty, and I believe I'm saying his first name right, but he's very, very shifty. I haven't seen somebody like of his caliber since Troymaine Pope, back when he was at Jacksonville State. Now, obviously, this is more of an SEC show. Like a lot of people listen for the bigger name teams, like Alabama or Auburn or LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, or even some of the bigger guys, or even some of the other big guys like Ohio State, Michigan, Kansas State, Oklahoma State. So, but regardless, this is what's happening in the college football world tonight. Okay, so I'm not gonna not talk about these guys, okay? We have another group of 5 team playing on Saturday, the Boise State Broncos, okay? The Smurf turf. No, they're not playing on the Smurf turf this Saturday. They will be playing down in Statesboro and Georgia Southern. So that's going to be a good one. I'd like to say I think that Georgia Southern keeps it close to start out the year. But I do not think that it will stay close for long. I think that Ashton Genty, the running back for Boise State, is going to end up taking over in this game, and he's going to end up having a historic season for the Broncos, and they might even make the playoffs. So watch out for those guys. Obviously, I don't have them in my preseason, the HES Media preseason top 12, but that's just me. That's just me, and I'm not going to apologize for it, because why would I do that, okay? Anyways, but yeah, I've got Boise State winning that game. Now a game that few people are drawing attention to that I feel like could be sneaky good is Oklahoma State versus South Dakota State. South Dakota State just coming off the 15-0 year, a national championship run. You have Coach Jimmy Rogers coming off his first year as a head coach, not even losing a game yet. Hey, he's served as a head coach for exactly 1 year, and he went 15-0 in that same season, and he won the national championship, or the FCS National Championship. So South Dakota State's a good team. And if you're Oklahoma State, you cannot go sleepwalking into this game. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen for a little bit. I think they eventually get woken up. But I do think, like I said, I think that this is going to be a sneaky good game. And South Dakota State's going to put up a fight. I did not see the lines. I do not bet. I solemnly swear I do not bet. But I have not seen the lines be released, or I would make a pick. But some of the other ones we do have, and we will break down those here in just a minute. Let's go back to Jacksonville State and Coastal Carolina. Jacksonville State is a 3.5-point favorite in this game. I think that this is going to be a phenomenal game. Jacksonville State, I think they return enough talent on the offensive side and the defensive side of the football. Obviously, you lose Jeremiah Harris. That stinks if you're Jacksonville State. That's a tough blow in the secondary position. But guess what? Offensively, you're going to be all right. I think that Logan Smothers, he brings a lot of talent. The transfer from Nebraska, he was there last year. Didn't necessarily fare off too well, but then again, you've had guys. You had guys like Zion Webb who were able to really take over late during games, and that was just the end of it. Logan Smothers, he could run the ball. He's not as much of a dual threat as Zion Webb was, but he can still really get things done with his legs. But if I'm looking for anything, I'm really hoping that this dude is able to sit in there and he's able to make a strong effort tonight, and he puts the Gamecocks past the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Now, I'm going with Jacksonville State. I think Jacksonville State covers, and I think that they eventually, eventually go on to win, possibly, the Conference USA Championship this year. Now, say that's a bold take because Liberty's in that same position, but I think that Jacksonville State has what it takes offensively to get the job done. Now, I get it. You've got Caden Salter for Liberty who's returning. He's going to be good. It's going to be between Jacksonville State and Liberty. I firmly believe that. You have some people who are thinking that Jacksonville State maybe even makes the playoffs this year. I do not think so. I think they need a few more years, and Rich Rod needs to stay a few more years. But at the same time, it's going to be what it'll be at the end of the day. I think Oklahoma State beats South Dakota State. I do. I think they win it late. I think the second half is a little bit more of a pull away game, and I think that Oklahoma State ends up winning this game. The big story here is going to be the depth. Like I said, Oklahoma State has 11 starters returning on offense and 10 starters returning on defense. That is what eventually will win this game for Oklahoma State. No spoiler alert for South Dakota State, unfortunately, for all the Jackrabbit fans out there. Boise State and Georgia Southern. I think that Boise State wins this game easily. Then we have North Dakota State at Colorado tonight. Colorado's a 10-point favorite. This is a game I'm really looking out for because not only is this a game that North Dakota State, which, by the way, another FCS team and another FCS powerhouse coming into an FBS team's home field, not only is it one of those games, but this is another one of those teams that could really, really make some noise in week one. Like South Dakota State has a chance to do it. Do I think they will? No. North Dakota State has a chance to do it too against a team that's not as prominent, not as good. Colorado is not as good of a team as Oklahoma State. They just aren't. So can they make a case? Of course, but I don't think that Colorado's quite there yet. I do think they get the win tonight, but I think it's going to be close. Shadur Sanders has got to work some magic. Defensively, they need to be improved. That you get a transfer running back, Dallin Hayden from Ohio State. I think he's going to be nice. You still have Jimmy Horn coming back as well, and obviously Travis Hunter. So I'm really looking for this. I'm really looking for this Colorado team to be good, or excuse me, I won't say good. I'll say average. And I think they get the job done tonight, but I think it's going to be a slim win, and I do not think that they cover the 10.5-point spread. With that being said, we also have another game, and this team lies just north of the Mason-Dixon. We have North Carolina, and guys, I'm excited for this one. North Carolina plays Minnesota in Minnesota tonight. They're going to take on the Fighting PJ Flex. I do think that they win this game. They are a 2-point favorite. I think they win this game pretty easily. I think they cover. I just don't have faith in Minnesota at all. So that is me, and I'm sorry, but that is where I'm going with this one. Now, that's a long road. That's a long truck for North Carolina to go all the way up to Minnesota. Now, a lot of you guys that are driving up to that game, or you're attending the Jacksonville State game, and you're driving from Asheville or Springville, Pell City, or the surrounding areas of where we are located. Wherever you're driving from, you're going to need some new tires soon. So you need to go to J&K Tire and see them ASAP. They are located in Steele, Alabama. You can call them at 256-570-0777. That's 256-570-0777. If you need your tires worked on, your brakes, new tires, alignments, shocks, struts, oil changes, or a minor auto repair, you know where to go. Just go to J&K Tire in Steele, Alabama, and they will get you taken care of. So no need to fret there. J&K Tire's got you taken care of. Now, guys, I'm going to make some picks. And this is something that I've been wrestling. These are actually a few games that I've been wrestling with throughout the week. I'm going to start off with Florida and Miami. Now, Florida and Miami is a game that I think could go either way, obviously. This is a pretty good Miami team, and Florida is a team that I think can be sneaky good. The problem is they have a really, really rough schedule. Here's the thing with Florida is they're easily a top 25 team, but they have the hardest schedule in the country. This is a team that could lose 7 games, and you could be like, oh, well, yeah, I could understand that. I get it. I love Billy Napier. I get it that some people do not like the dude and do not think that he should be coaching in the SEC. I strongly disagree. I think that he's the right fit for Florida. I think offensively and schematically, he matches up well against his opponents. They really attack at a whole different standpoint. I love the pistol formation that they like to run out of. The quick shifts before the snap. I just absolutely love it. I fall in love with that kind of offense. Do I think that they win over 7 games? No. I don't think they win over 7 games. I'm not quite sure how they fare off on the schedule, and I have looked at it, but I have not done a preseason breakdown. I will do that later on, and eventually I will get you guys an episode of the podcast recorded. We will have it up and everything like that. But for now, I'm not going to make a season prediction. But like I said, this is a Florida team that could win 7 games and still be one of the top 20 teams in the country. I firmly believe that, just because of how strong their schedule is. Now I get it. That it all depends on how some of these teams that are ranked in the top 25 now fare off at the end of the year. Now, that's obvious. But for right now, you're playing 7-8 teams in the top 25 in a 12-game regular season. Now, what's happened with the regular season in the next few years? I think that we could be expanding the regular season within the next 5 or 6 years. I strongly believe that. Whether that's in another expanded playoff, they've already talked about it. They have already talked about it. So if you're thinking that that's not possible, check again, my friend, because they are already discussing that right now, and that's in the works. But as for this game, I think that Florida wins. Miami is covered by 2.5 points, or they are favored by 2.5 points. I think that Florida wins this game in Ben Griffin Stadium. That's just how I see it going. That's just how I see it going, guys. I think that Florida, they have a little bit of edge to them. They're facing a lot of adversity right now with their schedule. Everybody's talking about, hey, you know what, Billy Napier, maybe he's not the best fit. Well, guys, maybe he's not the best fit for the job. He's not a Nick Saban. He's not a Steve Spurrier. But guess what? I think that he can really turn this Florida team around. He's recruiting well. He's recruiting well. The problem is that with the Florida Gators, if you're not winning 8, 9, 10 games year in, year out, and this is his 3rd year, it's not going to work out. So I think this year is huge for him. If you win at least 7 or 8, I think you keep the job. I really believe that, because this is a tough schedule, the hardest schedule in the country. So if you win 7 to 8 games and you're Billy Napier, you're keeping your job. So, but I think that the Florida Gators win this game. So I'm going with Florida, and I'm going to be chomping on a honey pepper pimento cheese chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. So now we have Penn State and West Virginia. This is a 11 o'clock game on Saturday. I will be working. I won't get to catch it, but guess what? I will have it recorded, because I'm not missing any ball. All right, I'm not missing this football game for nothing. I will have it recorded. I will watch it. I will do a little film study on it, and I'll have a little bit of analysis on it, probably coming Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning, Monday afternoon, somewhere around there anyways. But I firmly believe that this is going to be a really good game. You have head coach Neil Brown coming in. I think he's a really good head coach. I really like him. And Garrett Green at the quarterback position for West Virginia. I think he's a game changer. And I think he's going to keep this game close for West Virginia, but I don't think it's enough. I think the Penn State and Nittany Lions eventually get the job done. Now, I'm not saying that they blow this. I don't think that they blow West Virginia out. I think this is going to be a really close game. Penn State's favored by 8 points. Do I think they cover? No, absolutely not. I don't think they cover, but that's okay, because if you're West Virginia, you're not ranked. You have a number 8 ranked Penn State coming into your stadium, and you have a chance to do the unthinkable. You have a chance to do the unpredictable. So if you want to go out there and do it, guess what? Strap up and get ready, because Saturday is college football. This is week 1. But sadly, I don't think you get the job done. And you'll have to wait till week 2 to get your redemption. Now we have Georgia versus Clemson. Georgia is a 13.5-point favorite against a Clemson Tigers team who I think is going to be a little feisty to start this game. Defensively, they're good. Now, offensively, I don't think they're good at all. I think they're absolutely horrendous offensively. You have Phil Maffa at the running back position. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be great. He's a really good running back. You also have guys like Cade Klubnik. I don't think that Cade Klubnik is that guy. I just do not. I don't have any faith in this team. Now, I do like Cade Klubnik. I just do not have any faith that this Clemson team can get the job done. And I think that this Georgia team wins by the score of 24-7. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not even sure if Clemson scores a touchdown. 24-7 or 24-3. But I'm going to go with 24-7. Georgia wins this football game. And Penn State and West Virginia, that'll be we'll go 28-20. How about that? At 8 points, you're not going to cover, but if you're Penn State, you get the win. And then we'll give a little score prediction for Florida and Miami. We're going to go Florida 34 and Miami 27. Now we have Notre Dame at Texas A&M. This one might come to be a little bit of a surprise for you. I'm very excited for this game. This is going to be Saturday night on, I believe it's ABC at 6:30. I'm really excited for this game. I think that A&M is going to come out, and they're going to come out swinging. You're going to have a healthy Connor Wegman coming back. I think Wegman is a little bit slept on. The last few years he has been injured, but I think that he's very, very good, and he's being overlooked a lot. And I don't appreciate that as a part of the college football media. Obviously, we're amateur, but as a part of the media, I think he's a little bit underrated. I think he's going to come into this year, and he's really going to light Notre Dame on fire. I'm not saying that they come out and blow Notre Dame out, but I think that Riley Leonard and company are going to be a little bit shell-shocked when they first walk out under the lights of Kyle Field. 105,000 people or something like that. I mean, it is insane. They have a lot of people in that stadium. Notre Dame's not going to stand a chance. I just don't see it happening. I think Texas A&M is going to walk away with a win, and the Mike Elko era is going to start off hot. You're going to start off 1-0 in the Coach Elko era. So I have Texas A&M covering. They are favored by 3. This is no upset here. Texas A&M is going to win this game. Maybe a little bit low scoring. I say low scoring. I'm going to go 27-17. I think Texas A&M gets the job done. Defensively for Notre Dame, you're going to have a little bit of trouble. Offensively, I think you're going to have a little bit of trouble. I think it's going to be really, really tough to score on this Texas A&M defense, and I don't think you have what it takes to walk out of College Station with a W. It's just not happening. You have Nick Scourton coming off the end for Texas A&M. He's going to be lethal, and I think he gives Riley Leonard nightmares. So give me Texas A&M and the Aggies. I don't think that Notre Dame has what it takes at all. Now for our final game of the night and our final game that we're going to predict, and then we're going to watch some college football and do an assignment, unfortunately. But we have USC versus LSU. This is a game that's going to be on Sunday in Las Vegas. Now, Sunday in Las Vegas, those two words, or that word and city do not go together. That day and city do not go together. So we have Sunday, it's the Lord's Day. And then we have Las Vegas. They just don't go together, guys. I'm not going to sit here and argue about that. It's just not going to happen. I think that LSU is going to go into Las Vegas, and I think they walk away with a W. I don't see USC coming out with the win. I think that Miller Moss is very good. You have Zachariah Branch at the wide receiver position, and he's going to be returning kicks and punts. He's good. I'm not taking anything away from USC. Do I think they are better than last year? Yes, I really do think they're going to be better than last year, but I don't think that they are going to be as big of a problem as some people may think. I think that USC is a little, I'm not going to say overrated, as Josh Pate would say, where are they rated? But no, I just don't think so. I think that USC is a little bit of an afterthought, in my opinion. Now, I get it, maybe a little bit harsh. You're in the Big Ten. This is big boy ball. This is not the Pac-12 anymore. Now, I get the Pac-12 was really, really good last year and pretty deep, aside from like Stanford and Texas and Wazoo, or not Texas, Stanford and Wazoo, and then you had other teams like California. I don't know why I said Texas. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. It's just not going to go well this year. I won't say it's not going to go well. It's not going to go great for USC. And I will stand by that. And I think that LSU wins tomorrow. I think they win 31-20. I'm going to go 31-20. I think LSU wins. LSU is favored by 4 points. You cover. And that's just that. Guys, doesn't it feel good to be back? This is college football. And I have waited a long time for college football to be back. Your tailgates. We have tailgates. Whether you don't even have to be tailgating. You can just be cooking out at the house with your family. I know last year I made rotel dip, or I made rotel dip. My stepmom actually made rotel dip she made rotel dip for one of the games. Phenomenal. Do it, guys. And if you're not going to do that, heck, even if you are going to do that, check out catering. And if you are using catering at Chick-fil-A in Pell City, check out the app. Let's do it, guys. If you're making a decision to go out, and a decision about what to eat can be pretty hard when it comes to Chick-fil-A because it's very diverse. Now, obviously, it's chicken. It's diverse. Obviously, there's bacon there. There's sausage. Guys, there's certain things that you can get, and it's still going to be good. Just because it's not chicken doesn't mean it's going to be good. Now, I get it's Chick-fil-A. Not everything has to be chicken, but eat more chicken anyways, from the Chick-fil-A cow himself. Visit the Chick-fil-A in Pell City and help save you some time with an easy-to-order options on the Chick-fil-A app. Plus, with every qualifying purchase, you'll receive points toward rewards. The Chick-fil-A food we all enjoy is just a tap away. Download the Chick-fil-A app and order your favorites today. In participating areas of the state of Alabama, open your Chick-fil-A app when Auburn or Alabama score a touchdown from the red zone at home, and you'll receive a free treat from our Chick-fil-A Iron Bowl giveaway. Now, I know everybody here likes free treats. Now, we all do. I think one of my favorite things is when I was in Stillwater with my girlfriend Alana this past summer, and they happened to have a free treat. I don't know what the cause was. It was a free treat, and I did not mind. It was a free medium French fry. And if you've not had the French fries at Chick-fil-A, I'm just going to do this right here. Phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I will never take fries for granted again, especially Chick-fil-A's fries. The saltiness is amazing. You dip it in some Chick-fil-A sauce. Whatever. And this is the college football show. What am I doing talking about food? Well, guess what? We're paying the bills, man. Okay? So if there's a problem, then step away. No. Come back, actually. We need you here. We need the support all we can get. But no, guys, we got to pay the bills. Shout out to our sponsors from Chick-fil-A in Pell City and J&K Tire in Steele, Alabama. If you need your tires rotated or anything like that, go to J&K Tire in Steele, Alabama. You can call them at 256-570-0777. And if you want a sweet treat for college game days, heck, NFL game days. Now, obviously, Chick-fil-A is closed on Sunday. Get some catering done on Saturday. You can have it on Sunday, okay? You can have it on Sunday. Let it sit. If you want to microwave it, whatever, you can do that too. But thank you to Chick-fil-A in Pell City and also J&K Tire in Steele. Highly appreciate you guys. And guys, we are back this year. We are back, and we are better than ever. And also, you can catch me tomorrow morning at 8:45 on 94.1 The River. I will be discussing St. Clair County's matchup against Catholic Montgomery, and that's going to be a fun time. So drop on by in 94.1 The River's broadcast on Facebook or just on the radio, and you can hear me talking about St. Clair County's football team. That's going to be fun. Guys, thank you for being back. Thank you for supporting me. I'm very thrilled to be back. It's awesome to see everybody in the live chat responding as well. It's college football season, and nobody's happier to be back than me. You've got Colorado playing tonight. You've got Jacksonville State, by the way. I have both of those teams winning. Jacksonville State is going to win tonight, and they will cover against Coastal Carolina. Shepard Merritt. Shepard, thank you for joining, brother. I highly appreciate it. But guys, this has been the Hayden Coker Show, presented to you by Chick-fil-A in Pell City. Once again, thank you. I will see you guys next week. Be careful, guys. Don't do anything stupid over the weekend. I will see you next Thursday.